Onto the local markets now. The JSE is starting the week off in the red, just over 1.5% to end off the trading day. One of the biggest laggards on the local bourse today were your resource stocks. They're about 3% in the red. Let's get into those numbers now with Mr. Joseph Busher of JM Busher Investments. Let's start with the movements on the local bourse today, Mr. Busher. I just mentioned, I think we closed just over 1.5% in the red. Resources, financials, industrials, all not having a good day. Were there any global contributors here?
With a strong ending last Friday, the market was up about 3%, as you said today, slightly down. There are lots of negativity, really. I think the fears about recession, just a slowdown in terms of the global economy, given what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, and that might really take long or stretch out longer than people expected. So there are all those negatives. I think you have seen the futures are opening negative. So those have certainly influenced our domestic market, and hence you saw the resources are all down between the major ones, down between 3 and 6%, Kumba being 6% down, and Anglo-Plat about 3.5% down. So there has been massive negativity, but I think we've seen the volatility over the last 1 month also, where one day you are up, one day you are in the green. And certainly this is just a continuation of the uncertainty in the market. And I think just investors being jittery about the future of the biggest economy in the world, that is the US.
Here back home in South Africa, Mr. Busher, we're jittery about the rand. It's breached the 17 rand against the US dollar mark. And I mean, we are seeing this happening in a time when consumers, or South Africans in general, extremely constrained. Surely this is not just a story about a stronger US dollar. The domestic issues that we are currently having, and which are actually getting worse, one would argue, are weighing on the rand.
South Africa is a talking community or talking nation. You know, there is lots of engagements, there's a lot of talking, and I think government tends to sometimes just get to involve the citizens in talking. But certainly there's no leadership with regards to the electricity shortages. We have seen people making lots of proposals about renewable energy, solar and wind power, but all those are going to take a bit longer to be able to come up into the stream and to be able to arrest the situation. We've also seen a lot of negativity, I think, over the last 4 days or so in terms of the devastation of the July to 2021 unrest in KZN and so on. So all those negative sentiments are certainly not helping, despite the fact that S&P gives us a positive outlook, upgrade from stable, and although they're saying there's no massive, obviously, changes that are happening, but certainly it's a positive outlook. So we need to just make sure that we get the power back and just get the confidence so that, our international investors, our international friends don't just see negativity on our TVs, but also get clear directions from the government, in particular the presidents, in terms of solving some of these issues that are gripping the country.
Yeah. Standard Bank, let's move on to some company news now, Mr. Busher. Hiring a chief operations officer. I thought it quite odd, given the fact that this role hasn't been filled since 2013. And now the bank suddenly decides that it needs a chief operations officer. Did the share price react in any way? And do you find it necessary for Standard Bank to have made this particular move?
I'm not quite sure in terms of their restructuring. They've got what they call the Group Leadership Council, which is made up of about 14 individuals, of which 3 of them are now women, including Ms. Margaret Nieba, who has just been appointed with effective immediately. She was with the Client Solutions. She's got experience within the financial services, having come from Santam and spending 12 years within Standard Bank. So she is very good, I think, in terms of brand organization and just marketing. And I guess possibly they feel that they need somebody to take over that portfolio and try and put Standard Bank in good light. But I think what's just important there is that, she, out of 14 people, there are only 3 females that are on that leadership council. So it could be positive in the sense that they might want to just bolster their image and get some of their, brands, products out there.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much for your time this evening.